The 2026 housing market is anticipated to be a little calmer than this year has been. Zillow just released their recent predictions. Redfin recently released their predictions. Let's chop it up.
Yeah, speaking of chop, right? It's like swells and choppy water that we've been through this whole year. I feel like we've been like driving around on a speedboat, trying to like bounce around. Where
yes,
hopefully it'll be a little like smooth, like
agreed,
smooth like glass.
It's been interesting. One thing I find though that no one's talking about, and when I was in Miami at EXPCon, one of the other guests on stage shared a number about the percentage of off-market transactions that are happening. And so you look at the transaction count that NAR comes out with, and, and what are they saying we're projected to do
like
this
roughly
year?
4 million, 3.8 to
Okay.
4 million.
And what did we do last year?
Just 4.1.
Okay. And what this gentleman was saying is that there is a growing percentage of off-market transactions.
Makes perfect sense.
That perhaps Realtor.com just isn't including in their numbers that are happening. And so is it skewing the transactional count and making it look worse than it is?
Yeah, well, we always know that like there's a ton of transactions that happen that are off market, right? That like, so when you really get into like the true transaction counts, you like, it's almost like a tax record search that you have to be able to do on those. Cause I mean, just think about like, if I were to deed you over a property, right? That's still a transaction, right? It has to be in a boot exchange, but are kind of off the books transactions that happen from an exchange of ownership. And so, yeah, like, I mean, I do wonder what that actual transaction amount is. And not only that, I mean, we know obviously by, lots of properties that are off market, not on the MLS, et cetera.
Yes, and so it's just it's one of those enigmas that I haven't quite figured out yet. Which if you have more data on that, drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear and see it.
Locally, in the Cromford Report, I feel like does a good job of uncovering some of all the transactions in the county. But again, they're looking at Maricopa County, Pinal County. Those are county records.
Right. And I think what we're probably all wondering is, what does this mean for us in real estate? So if we have a calmer market, if rates stabilize, the Fed does meet next week. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Polymarket saying that we're likely going to get some sort of cut.
Like 90+%, I think is that. But I actually even saw it keep upticking for a 50 basis point cut this time.
No,
like, I'm
really.
dead serious. When I looked last week, it was like a 10% chance or something.
Using the water terminology or going with that, the tide's changing.
Yes.
The tide's shifting on the polymarket.
We got our water metaphor.
All right, keep it going. All podcast long, it has to be a water metaphor or it ain't being talked about.
Crafty and clever.
But yeah, so what can we anticipate? And I think that likely for realtors, it's going to be maybe a little bit easier to get listings sold.
Oh, right. Absolutely.
It may be a little bit easier to get buyers off the fence when rates come down a little bit.
100%.
Right. And so more transaction count, I think, is the takeaway.
Yeah. Everything is based off of affordability, right? Like, I mean, it was a joke I used to make several years ago. It'd be like, everybody wants to live in $1 million house with a $100,000 house, a mortgage payment, right? Which is obviously a no-brainer statement, but we would need to adjust those numbers up now. But my whole point of saying that is everything is based off of affordability, right? The overwhelming majority of decisions that are made. And so if we can make affordable more realistic for people and they can get more house for the money that they're paying, then we're going to see more transactions. So
agreed. And Zillow's predicting about 4.26 million transactions in 2026. So that is, that's a little bit of an uptick for sure.
A 5% uptick, which is actually substantial. When you think about it, like that's a lot.
So another thing that Zillow constantly points out in their shareholder reportings is that they continue to outperform the residential real estate industry. It's something that they say over and over again as they continue to amass value for their shareholders, which is great, right? That's what they exist to do, is bring value to their shareholders. But as we kind of think through outperforming the residential real estate industry, let's talk about ways you can outperform your peers in the residential real estate industry.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I was thinking a second ago when we're talking about like macro versus micro, and I think that actually it's so important to understand.
So pond, ocean.
Exactly. Another one. See, I told you she's on point. Clever. Let's go. So whether you're looking at the reason why the ocean is so important for your body of water is the simple fact of it's like the energy of what's going on. It's like what sets the tone. Not only that, you got to remember we're dealing with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the secondary market, the majority of the times, right? That has to package your loan and sell it off, right? Like a lot of that decision making is made because of their ability to sell off that. So that's where I think that macro really kind of comes into play. But what's micro and so important, what Kayla was just talking about, like county records, obviously looking at your city, is you got to realize that there is a niche in your opportunity. And that's where I think that we need to, hey, what's going on? Because it's the vibe of what's going to happen this next year. Then let me take a look at my hyper local market to see what's going, to see what's the life events, what's the sectors of people that are going most likely to move, right? Then you're going to be able to craft your message, craft your plan of attack, but getting like just real pragmatic, here on this is I think that this is going to be a year that we have more technology, more systems, more processes than, year by year, right? It just keeps compounding. We have more opportunities. Obviously, the rise of AI. It's more important than ever that I think that we actually bring the conversation to your particular prospects. And this is where it's so important for you to realize that you have so many things at your fingertip giving you back your time, such as our home report, such as, whatever lead source it is that you're working for. And now, I feel like lead scoring has become more normal. The reality of it is being clear on your local market, find a unique value proposition, whether it be local property data, a unique offering that you can bring to those particular people as your simple conversation starter. So
I love it. So one way that you can outperform the residential real estate industry, outperform your peers, is by using targeted data. Because what we know is that about 70% of the transactions that are occurring have some sort of life event attached to them. And so I think what Elliot really, what you believe, what I believe, is that when you're going and you're building your business, you really need to target those life events.
100%.
Right. And you need to niche down in them.
Well, it's like going back to, like, we all know in real estate the 5 Ds, right? Like those are life events, and that's the beautiful thing of it. Like,
do you want to just share them? Say them. Come on, we gotta say them.
Death, divorce, debt, diapers. What's the death, divorce, debt, diapers? Downsizing. There we go. So, like, what I love about that is it's very, very trackable and it's very, very viewable online. The ones that somebody that's getting a job transfer. Tough, right? There's or right timing, that itch. Oh, honey, I want to move. Tough to. That's like a right time, right place kind of transaction. However, if you can craft a message to like serendipitously show up, it's not serendipitous. It's obviously target marketing. And so, to me, again, I was just talking with an agent of ours this morning, and talking about the importance of realizing that so many sellers actually start that move with the buy. And part of what is such a tremendous opportunity, instead of focusing on, hey, I see you looking at 1234 Main Street, when do you want to go check it out, right? Or when you plan to see it? Hey, when you buy your next house, are you paying cash or are you getting finance, right? Taking such a buy approach. Well, this is an opportunity for you to take a look and see that they own a house and say, hey, what does this look like for you? Do you have an opportunity to be able to see what your house is worth? Have you considered how much equity you're going to be working with, right? So I think that this is where you have an opportunity to almost kind of look at like a financial surgery, and you be that advisor in that situation, and ultimately show them how they can and why they should sooner than later.
Agreed. And I would say that a second way that you can really outperform is by being a deal architect and doing just that, and really getting surgical, if you will, and seeing how you can put deals together.
Yep.
Because what we know is there are people that still want to move, and they want, they desire to be somewhere different. And if you can show them a path and it works for them, they're going to do it. So what does that look like? I think that looks like really talking about some of the different ways you make things happen for people, and sharing those success stories and sharing the different scenarios.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I think that coincides with getting your message out to the marketplace. So what would a third way to do that?
Well, of course, we haven't even talked about social media, as we know that's where everybody's at today, right? You have I think this is such a tremendous opportunity, because obviously you need to be an amazing practitioner when you're when you're in front of them, right? Like belly to belly. Then from there, you have to be able to communicate that value proposition at scale, and doing it through more businessy avenues, such as maybe an online marketing strategy. And I don't mean social media for that. I mean like some type of online pay-per-click advertising, right? Like whatever that looks like for you. But, or even a big one today, again, is going to be email marketing. Like I think that it's tremendous if you get to that inbox. But then from there, of course, is reaffirming the entire thing with social media. And it's not one of them, it's all of them working together, right? It is an omnipresent world that we live in today. And of course you do it fantastically. But are you showing up on X with some of the strategies that we talked about? Are you doing a business post once a day, once every other day, that's very on purpose, how you're going to solve a problem inside of your marketplace? Pose the question to your community. Then from there, of course, as we all know, engage with your prospects or your clients, right? Whatever their posts that they're doing, so then they're more likely to see your stuff.
Agreed. And you can be that big fish in the small
pond. You could be the whale.
Speaking of big fish, did you see that Netflix is purchasing Warner Brothers?
I love what a whale. They're a whale. They're a blue whale at this point, right? They're like Moby Dick at this particular point. So it was like for $83 billion or something, right?
That's insane. I remember when Netflix made an offer to buy Blockbuster for $50 million. $50 million.
I know.
It's like in the world of acquisitions, they were trying to acquire Blockbuster for $50 million, and now they're acquiring Warner Brothers for $83 billion.
I know. Well, it's like, does that mean like all the theme parks are now going to be like Netflix? You know, because I was just thinking, I just was in some of the theme parks. It's like a year ago already. Dang, it goes by quick. But
are you thinking like your Universal Studios? Like,
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, they're going to go do that whole thing.
Oh, what I like about this is, I mean, like I know nothing about the inner workings of any of the deal or anything like that, but I think what's neat is to see kind of a legacy company be disrupted by a newer, innovative company that came up. And by the way, Blockbuster told Netflix no.
I know.
Like, if those executives are like still alive today, do you think that they're just like, do you think that they live in constant regret of that decision? Because I'm guessing that $50 million deal probably was mostly stock or, partially stock. And can you imagine? Like, I just can't imagine making a decision that terrible and having to live with it every day.
Well, and gosh, no kidding. Well, I mean, it's like, who is it? Gary Vee said no to investing in Uber or something like that. Oh,
he did. Yes. He told Travis no.
Yeah, like early.
And looking back.
He admits it.
And it wasn't even much. I don't think
it was like $25,000.
Yeah, it was not even a big investment. He said no.
And what that $25,000 would have represented was nuts.
Yep.
I know it does make you think about like how many missed opportunities and what's around us right now, because like we were joking around before the show, but like even when you just think about like Redbox, right? Netflix, when you used to have to like mail you got your discs. Ooh, I got mailed my discs, right? And then you watch them and have to return them and all of those issues where everything is just on demand. And obviously the rise of blockchain, right? Which I think blockchain on certain levels is going to abolish so many types of data things that are slow and archaic, like VHS, CD-ROM, right? Like that type of graduation where it's just going to goodbye.
So kind of bridging that to our viewers and listeners, I think that in real estate, we're going to see massive disruption.
Exactly.
And so I think that the other way you can continue to outperform the real estate industry is by being creative, embracing solutions that are different and new, because they will be the future. And so I look at like kind of the offerings that we have inside of Zoodealio. I look at the different ways that you can sell a home, you can buy a home. I look at some of our products that we offer, like the home report, that keep the homeowner engaged with actually what they want to see, which is their equity, their insights, their trends, right? They want to know if they should sell or they should rent. They want to know what it would look like if they turn their house into an Airbnb. And you have all of these tools at your fingertips with Zoodealio. So I would say that's another way, is embrace the technology that's actually working.
Well, what I love about those things, everything you just said, is a lot of people don't know what they don't know. Right? They don't know what questions. Oh, they don't know that they're intrigued about seeing what their house would Airbnb for, what it would rent for, what their equity position is. You'd be surprised how many people don't know what their equity position is. Like, to me, that was one of those ones that was baffling to me. That
is so surprising, but you're absolutely right.
And so just to be able to like serve those things up and put them in the know is so empowering. And not only that, again, when you're looking at serving up that data, looking at the conversation starter that's going to put you at that foremost known authority in your particular market, right? These are just one of those things where it's just obvious, and you got to put these processes and operations in place. It's 2026, y'all, and you got to jump on the train.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in. If you have anything to add to the conversation, drop it in the comments below.